The truth about dogs. Disclaimer: if you have an aversion to dogs, then do not proceed further. If you are Pavlovian conditioned to dislike dogs because of the brainwashing of your particular school of thought control, then do not proceed further. We will look at the Bukhari and Hadith shortly, and when you have these worshipped unquestioningly, then absurd excuses like dogs kill their owners or children are presented to justify this false dog hatred or not allowing them in homes. According to the World Health Organization, road traffic injuries caused an estimated 1.35 million deaths worldwide in 2016. Approximately 475,000 people die every year at the hands of other humans, and dogs kill 25,000 people yearly. This means we should ban cars and not allow interaction with other humans, as you are more likely to be killed by them. But no, there are no ridiculousity about these issues, so no one is going to be that stupid. Hadith stupidity only followed. If you are a dog loather, then watch the following video section and hopefully you will be reconditioned. Resistance is futile to man's best friend. Some Muslims turn away in revulsion at the sight of a dog. I have seen a mother throw away dishes given to her for her child which had pictures of puppies. 101 Dalmatians. How revolting. The picture on the left is a postcard given out to the community to show the efforts being undertaken to protect the public by the police. The local imams in Scotland, UK asked for an apology as they said dogs were dirty and they were offended by the picture. This reflects what many believe. This attitude towards dogs is attributed to false hadith which are based on superstitious nonsense from a time when humans were ignorant of the real world and unashamedly attributed this to the messenger. The Quran is meant to awaken the curiosity and free thinking capabilities of our minds, but Bukharian Muslims have allowed falsehood to become part of their beliefs and practices. Black dogs are particularly hated and should be killed. Black cats are said to bring bad luck, are associated with witches and black magic, and are feared by some in some parts of the world. So falsehood and sickness is everywhere. Let us look at how the Quran speaks about dogs.
They ask you, O Messenger, what foods are permissible. Tell them all good and wholesome things of life are lawful to you. Say, as for the catch of your trained hunting animals, as God has taught you, is permissible. Mention God's name thereupon and be mindful. Indeed, God is swift to take account.
The Quran says we can eat the animals our trained hunting animals have caught, and the animal most used by humanity throughout history for hunting is the dog. This being so, if Allah had wanted us to keep dogs away, He would have clearly stated that we should not use dogs for hunting. He did not, and nowhere in the Quran is it mentioned that dogs cannot be kept as pets or killed because they are black.
Do you think that the dwellers of the cave, the upholders of Rakim, the inscribed gospel, were some supernatural beings, more wondrous than our other signs? Nay, strange legends became famous about them. As they fled for refuge to the cave outside Ephesus, they prayed, Our Lord, bestow on us grace from your presence, and help us conduct our affairs in the right way. And thereupon we veiled their ears in the cave for some years. They remained isolated, hiding from the soldiers of Emperor Decius during his reign. And then we roused them out of the cave, in order to test for themselves which of the two parties, the young men and their friends in town, or their opponents, had made better use of the time. The dwellers of the cave had maintained secret communication with like-minded people in Ephesus, and now contrary to hearsay we shall relate to you, O Prophet, their true history. Indeed, they were young men who truly believed in their Lord, and we increased them in guidance. We strengthened their hearts as they took a firm stand and said, Our only Lord is the Lord of the heavens and the earth. Never shall we call upon any authority other than Him. If we did, we would be in enormous schism. Their proclamation was not mere words. They were determined to establish the divine system in their land. Our people have taken gods other than Him. Why do they not bring forward a clear and convincing evidence in support of what they do? And who does a greater wrong than the one who invents a lie against God, taken gods other than Him, obeyed false authorities contradicting divine commands? The young men conferred with their friends and among themselves. Now that you have withdrawn from them and all that they submit to other than God, then seek refuge in the cave. Your Lord will shower you with His grace, and set your affairs towards ease. And you would have seen the sun rising on the right side of the cave, and set aside from them. on the left while they lived on in that spacious chamber. It is a sign of that he arranged for them excellent camouflage, and whom God guides is rightly guided, and whom he lets go astray for violating the laws of guidance. For such, you will find no ally to show the right way. The cave lay north-south, and while it was roomy from inside, its entrance was small. You would have thought that they were awake. Even when they slept, they remained alert round the clock. We made them change their positions right and left. Frequently, they had a faithful dog to guard the entrance, with its 4 paws outstretched ready to pounce. The whole environment was awe-inspiring. Had you come upon them suddenly, you would have fled away from them in awe.
Dogs can be dogs.
Our Lord, bestow on us grace from your presence, and help us conduct our affairs in the right way.
The people of the cave story depicted how they stayed for a time away from those persecuting them and only ventured back to the townspeople when it was safe for them to do so. There was no 300 years sleeping beauty type deep freeze coma in the cave, but living in that area only a short time, a few years, which flew by for those who sought to practice what they heard preached about Allah. A lesson for us all, but some Muslims create fairy tales around the story to bewilder and beguile the masses. Getting back to dogs, you can clearly see that they were followers of Allah who kept dogs as well, so no kill all dogs syndrome for them. Bukhari for the Bukharians. As promised, here are some Sahih Bukhari sayings, not truthful words of the Messenger, for those who like to live in shirk idolatry.
Bukhari, Volume 4, Book 54, Number 539, narrated Abu Talha, the Messenger said, "Angels do not enter a house which has either a dog or a picture in it."
Where are the hunting and watch dogs now? Dogs can be trained to be extremely clean indoors. They can tell you when they want to excrete waste matter and you can let them out. If you allow them to be washed, there would be no hygiene problems. So what is the problem? And if angels do not enter my house where I keep a dog or picture, then the angel of death cannot enter either. So will I be immortal? Only if I stay inside, I suppose. The Bukharian stupidity becomes dumber with every passing thought.
Volume 4, Book 54, Number 540, narrated Abdullah bin Umar, Allah's apostle ordered that the dogs should be killed.
Where have the animal rights people gone? Once this hadith gets out to the kafirs, this will be another false belief they can beat us with, along with niqabs, wife beating, etc. If we kill all the dogs, then would someone please explain how a dead dog can hunt and guard a house? Answers on a postcard, please.
Volume 7, Book 67, Number 389, narrated Ibn Umar. The Messenger said, "Whoever keeps a pet dog which is neither a watchdog nor a hunting dog, will get a daily deduction of 2 qirat from his good deeds." Volume 4, Book 54, Number 541, narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's apostle said, "If somebody keeps a dog, he loses 1 qirat of the reward of his good deeds every day, except if he keeps it for the purpose of agriculture or for the protection of livestock." Volume 4, Book 54, Number 542, narrated Sufyan bin Abi Zuhairani, that he heard Allah's apostle saying, "If somebody keeps a dog that is neither used for farm work nor for guarding the livestock, he will lose 1 qirat of the reward of his good deeds every day."
1 qirat here, 2 qirat lost in the other hadith. Somebody help me. Surprise, surprise, 2 hadith that actually agree with each other, although both are false. Did we need another chain repeating hadith?
Volume 1, Book 4, Number 174, narrated Abu Hurairah, the Messenger said, "A man saw a dog eating mud from the severity of thirst. So, that man took a shoe, and filled it with water and kept on pouring the water for the dog till it quenched its thirst. So, Allah approved of his deed and made him to enter paradise." And narrated Hamza bin Abdullah, "My father said, during the lifetime of Allah's apostle, the dogs used to urinate, and pass through the mosques, come and go, nevertheless they never used to sprinkle water on it, urine of the dog."
I thought we should kill all dogs. We should be cruel to them after being kind, and then we get double the chance of getting into paradise. Do we get 2 qirat for being kind and another 2 for killing them? We should take our shoes off when entering the mosque, but dogs who may be unclean can walk on through and miraculously none of them urinate whilst inside. No wudu to enter the mosque for them. Someone is making fun of us and we do nothing about it. The deniers of the Quran. The following verses of the Quran also mention dogs, and I hope it proves to you that when you mix divine truth with falsehood, you end up with the Bukharian idolatry that has nothing to do with the Allah-given deen, Islam. Man-inspired beliefs based on unauthentic and contradictory hadith, followed by the majority in defiance of the Quran.
Thus we explain our verses in all clarity so that people return to the book, and tell them what happened to him whom our messages were conveyed but he cast them off. Thus Satan his selfish desires overpowered him until he became of those who lost their way. He could have raised himself in honor according to our laws, but he clung to the earth and followed his own desires. Therefore, his likeness is as the likeness of a dog. If you scold him, he pants, or if you leave him alone, he still pants. Such is the example of a nation that belies our revelations. So, relate this narration that they may reflect. If it had been our will, if he chose our laws of humiliation, God's revelation lightens your burdens while man-made dogmas place burdens on you. Evil as an example are the people who reject our verses, since they hurt their own self. Whoever attains God's guidance according to his laws is led right, and goes astray he who violates God's laws of guidance. Then, such are the losers. We have committed to hell various people, rural and urban. They are living a life of hell. They have hearts that they use not to understand, they have eyes with which they see not, and they have ears with which they hear not. They are like cattle, nay they are further astray. They are the ones who let life pass by unaware of its potentials.
Heaven or hell, the zip opener is in your hands. These videos are all about the Quran, and I could not put it better myself. All praise to Allah, the all-knowing, most wise, creator of us all. The Quran Unchained.